Good evening, Emet. Erev Tov. We all see the acronym here, but I'm sure many of you know that Emet, or as the Israelis will say, Emet, not Emet, is truth in Hebrew. And we are honored to be here tonight. Sarah Stern is a friend of ours for over 20 years, and her husband, Buddy, today I learned that he's also a staff member. We've been here 3 years. This has completed the term we committed to when we came over. This has ended last week. We agreed to extend to January 20th. As I'm sure you can imagine, those 3 years were not easy, and the last year especially. But what brings us courage and strength is our belief that what we do, we are serving as public emissaries. And there are so many things we can speak of, but I would like to mention only one item, which is very important. What is by euphemism, called the gender violence since October 7th and thereafter. We've met the families, we met some victims. Last week we had a heart-wrenching meeting with them. And I would like to urge you, and this is a request of the families of the victim, make sure that this issue remains alive, that people know about it, that people speak about it. The silence of the not the Jewish organization, the women organization, the UN, where the silence was deafening. Let's make sure that this issue remains alive. Thank you. I would like my husband to join me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and I want to thank Sarah, our dear friend, for many years, and Emmet for inviting us and for giving us the award. This is really exciting for us. And Shirin and I want to thank you from the bottom of our heart. I want to acknowledge members of Congress, fellow ambassadors, and I want to congratulate the recipients of the award. Each and every one of you has done a great job, and you deserve this award. And I take the opportunity, even though she's not here, to congratulate Elise Stefanik on her selection as ambassador in the US. And we are quite confident that she will do an outstanding job, as she did on Congress, in fighting anti-Semitism, hatred, bigotry, and standing up with Israel. As Shirin noted, Emet in Hebrew means truth. So Emet tells the truth and exposes the truth about the Middle East, about threats to the free world and Western civilization, about the US-Israel relations, about Israel, about anti-Semitism. Your work is important. You tell the truth in an era where there's raging of incitement, of lies, of distortions, of fake news, of misconceptions. And that work of telling the truth is doubly important now. Your work is important. It's meaningful. And I want to tell you, Sarah, that you deserve every credit for a life's mission, for a life project. Yes, you deserve that. My friends, we are at a war, which is an existential war for the state of Israel. This is the longest and the toughest war that we've been fighting since Israel's inception in 1948, since our war of independence. We have open wounds. Our nation is scarred. Our nation is traumatized since October 7th. and the wound of the hostages. We have 101 hostages. Unfortunately, not all of them are alive. Every day that passes endangers their lives, and that will remain an open wound until we bring them back home. And we have to do everything we can to force Hamas to let our people go. This is essential. We've been at war for over 13 months, and if I had to summarize this war in very simple terms, I would put it the following. Hamas surprised us on October 7th, hit us hard to the point of bleeding, and when all our enemies in the region and across the globe smelled the blood, sensed weakness, sensed vulnerability, they all rose to hit us. That is why we have been confronted not only by Hamas in Gaza, but by the whole Iranian axis on 7 fronts, active fronts, from Yemen over 1,000 miles away to Lebanon, Shiite militias in Iraq and Syria, and all across the Middle East, and Iran itself. That is why Iran hit Israel twice with a massive missile strike. They would never even think about it before October 7th. They always fought us through proxies. That is why, over the last years, since October 7th, Israel was targeted, listen to this, by 35,000 rockets from across the Middle East and over 1,500 drones. No country would tolerate such a thing. But the good news is that amid this tragedy, we are turning the tide. We are turning the tide. We are achieving deterrence vis-à-vis Iran. We hit Iran in a way that exposed its vulnerabilities. We are significantly degrading Hezbollah. We have defeated Hamas to the point that they can no longer carry out an October 7th-like attack. We are turning the tide, and amid this tragedy, we can see the rays of hope for our region in very meaningful ways. I'm hopeful that in the next few days we'll achieve a ceasefire agreement in Lebanon based on the degradation of Hezbollah that we have achieved. The enemies that we fight are the enemies of the United States, and our achievements benefit the whole free world. Ultimately, I believe we're going to win not only because we are strong militarily, it is because of the spirit, because of the faith, because of the determination, the amazing resilience of our people, the solidarity among our people, the friends that we have, the support of America, the support of the American people. I agree with Elise Stefanik. What I learned over the last year is that most of the American people are with us, notwithstanding the noise you hear outside there. And it is because of people like you who make a difference, and really your work is so meaningful to all of us. So I believe that amid the tragedy and death, Am Yisrael Chai, and that Netzach Yisrael lo yeshaker, and the destiny of Israel will not falter. Thank you all.